today I'll be reviewing the book Lexi Magill and the Teleportation Tournament. The author is Kim Long. First off, I would really like to thank Simon Kids for sending me this book because I enjoyed reading it so much. And this book is actually very different than all the other ones I have read. Well, first off, the genre of this book is science fiction. And the thing is, one thing I love is that the author has included these really cool clues in the book that you can solve with the characters. You guys might be very curious. Well, don't worry because I'm about to explain. And first off, if you have not checked out my previous videos in my channel, or if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please do. Thank you all for watching my videos on NPStation, and without any further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to NPStation. First, let me tell you how this book first starts off. Well, the main character of this book, her name is Lexi Magill, and it turns out that she attends these really cool teleportation tournaments every year. So sadly, this year she actually moved away from her best friend, whose name is Haley, and those two always used to be the partners in the tournament. But sadly, the tournament only allows you to pick your team members from the school you are in. And of course, Lexi doesn't go to the same school as Haley anymore, so she still wanted to attend the tournament anyway. So she starts looking for some new students from her school. So she ends up choosing these two students, and their names are Ron and Mel. And it turns out they have not a single science background or anything, but again, she wanted to attend the tournament really badly, so she just chooses them as her teammates. Well, on the day of the tournament, it turns out that Lexi had actually asked her teammates to wear the Brewers color, which is their favorite sports team. So it was blue and gold. But still, none of her teammates did it, so she was kind of disappointed. Well, on the day of the tournament, there were so many teams that gathered in this huge building. And those were all the teams that would be competing in the tournament. And Lexi was so excited because on top of all that, there were her three favorite scientists at the tournament. And she and Haley adored them so much, Lexi was writing down every important thing those scientists were saying, because they gave this huge speech saying all the important things what the competitors would need to know about the tournament. So the time limits, so when they should, the times that they cannot and can, teleport to other destinations. So she was writing all that down thinking that it would come handy in the tournament, and it definitely did. So after the tournament finally began and all the teams finally rushed to their first clue. Well, let me get back to those clue things. Well, the thing is that there would be these tournament booths located in all the destinations. And those tournament booths would have these envelopes filled with clues that you need to solve correctly. Well, if you solve the clue correctly, you would be able to go to the right destination. But if you solve the clue wrong, then you would go to the wrong destination. And it's that simple. So the thing is, they had to solve all those clues, which some were very tricky, because Lexi started worrying since some of her teammates didn't have that science background, didn't know that much of physics. She thought that, they couldn't be able to solve those questions, and she would be the one doing all the work. But turns out, everything changed during the tournament. So later on in this book, it turns out that Lexi and her team, which her team name is actually Team Ram. So Team Ram, they were trying to solve this clue, and it had been a long and exhausting day. So Mal and Ron just wanted to take a break and just do their own thing. So what I'm talking about is that all those three members were attending this tournament for different reasons. So Lexi was there because she wanted the prize money, so she can get enough money to go back to her old school, so she can be with Haley and her other old friends. Well, Ron was there because he wanted to raise some money for his football team, so they can get some new jerseys and some other cool things. And he was also there because, as you guys can see in the background, he has this huge backpack on his back, and it's all filled with swag. Yep, you got it. Ron was also there because he wanted to sell all this swag he got. He also had this bell that he would ring and shout out that he had swag to sell. And surprisingly, many people actually bought some of the swag. So that was pretty cool. And also, Mal was there attending the tournament because she loves taking pictures. So she carried around her camera and she just wanted to take pictures of all the really cool places they would be teleporting to. So anyway, getting back, they were so those two were really exhausted while they're solving that clue. They wanted to go do their own thing. So of course, Ron wanted to go sell some swag and Mal just wanted to take some pictures. So Lexi was totally fine with that. So she gives the two of them the specific time where they should be back by and where they should come back to meet with the whole group. So that time all passed and Ron comes back happily and he says that he sold a lot of swag. But then it turns out that Mal, after a few minutes, she still wasn't back yet. And they kind of got worried. So after a few minutes, Lexi goes to see where Mal is. She looks everywhere outside the museum and everywhere, but she couldn't find her. Well, then she finds out from these couple girls that come out of the girls' bathroom. So Lexi goes in the bathroom and calls Mal's name. Well, Mal comes out of the stall and turns out she lost her Telmed. Well, first of all, let me say, a Telmed is like this round circular object that all the team members need to have no matter what to attend the tournament. If they do not have their Telmed, their whole team will be disqualified. So once Mal said that to Lexi was crazy mad. She started she was really mad at Mal. So then the two girls started looking everywhere in the bathroom, even though Mal had already done that. So they looked everywhere. They even laid on the bathroom floor to see in that level where the Telmed could have fallen. They came finally to the final thought. They both thought that the Telmed had been flushed down the toilet. So they went into that stall where Mal was, and where Mal thought the Telmed was flushed down, and which toilet. So they were just standing there looking down to see who would put their hand in and reach for that Telmed. But they just couldn't decide. And eventually, of course, one of the museum workers, she comes in and tells the two girls that the museum is closing and they would have to come back tomorrow. And of course, Ron was out there and he had no idea what was happening. So the two girls went outside of the bathroom and told everything to him. And Ron was very disappointed, but not that mad as Lexi was when Mal told her what happened. So the next day, they woke up very early in the morning and they were waiting for the museum to open. When it finally did, they rushed in back to that bathroom and started searching again. But without Lexi getting crazy mad, she actually listened to what Mal had to say. So since Lexi is such a scientific nerd, she retraced every single step Mal had taken the previous day. And they came to the actually correct final decision. So Lexi crosses her fingers. Both of the girls cross their fingers for extra luck. And then Lexi sticks her hand into Mal's purse and pulls out the Telmed. It was crazy, guys. The Telmed was literally right there in Mal's purse. Let me explain how they found that. So basically, since she had retraced all of Mal's steps, so it turns out that when Mal was putting her purse back on, her purse kind of hit the wall, which made that clink noise. You know, the noise of something falling onto the ground. And then when she was turning around, the zipper of the purse was rolling against the wall, which made the rolling noise which the Telmed would have made if it fell. Well, it didn't, because of course it was in her purse. So when Lexi sticks her hand, it turns out that Mal had only checked in the open zipper, but she had not checked in the closed pouch. So of course the Telmed was in the closed pouch, and Lexi was definitely the hero of the day that specific day because she literally saved the whole tournament for the whole team. So that was definitely a lifesaver. And Lexi and Mal definitely learned a big lesson is to definitely check her whole purse before she starts searching the whole place around her. So that was a lesson that Mal definitely learned. And Lexi kind of learned not to get that mad with someone if they do a small mistake, because it might have just been that simple if it was in someone's purse. So that was one thing that happened, and there were so many other things that happened after that whole chaotic event. Some things were good and some were bad. Well, something that happened, which was very scary, was that later on in the book, they were solving the clues, and it turns out that Mal always carries her iPad wherever they go. So that's what they use to correct their answers, or get the right answer for the clues. So they were solving the clue, but it turns out that Haley and her whole and some of her team, so her team was there, and a few other teams were also trying to solve that last clue. And Lexi got so carried off that she just wanted to answer the question really quickly, turn in her final clue, and teleport to their next destination. She didn't even care to check back with her teammates. Her teammates were trying to get her attention, saying that they should check on her iPad if the answer they got was correct, but Lexi just ignored them and turned in their final answer. It turns out they got teleported to the whole wrong destination. They teleported across the world. So that's a whole different time zone. It was night there and early in the morning where they were supposed to be. So that messed up their whole schedule. But they definitely were very persistent, which is a lesson that every reader will learn from reading this book, which is definitely what I learned, is to be very persistent and have determination. Because Team Ram and all the team members in that team, they were so persistent in what they were doing. If they got something wrong, they would keep on trying, and eventually they would get right back on track. So that was one thing that happened, but they definitely worked it out. And another thing is that Haley and Lexi, like I mentioned before, they were like the bestest of best friends, but not in this competition. So that was really sad thing, because Haley started not to like Lexi at all. Before the competition, Haley never responded to Lexi's text, and now in the competition, she started to cheat on her. Well, they were in this maze, and that's where all the clues were spread out. They were trying to find that last clue, but they just couldn't. And Lexi's team finally actually met up with Haley's team. And they were all so exhausted. They just wanted to, and they were very hungry because it was past afternoon. So they wanted to just eat lunch. And Haley actually told Team Ram that the food tent would be closing in a few minutes, which that definitely freaked Team Ram out, because they cannot wait until dinner to have food. They would be starving. So that's why Haley took that chance to give Team Ram the wrong answer for that final clue, just because she could throw them off of track, and then Haley's team would have a better chance to be the winners of the tournament, which is just cruel, because of course Lexi fell for it. And don't worry, like I said, they were very persistent. They eventually found out that Haley had given them the wrong answer, so they worked it out. But I would definitely not spoil if Team Ram wins the competition, or if Haley's team wins the competition. It's just amazing to just read the last part of this book, because you're just waiting to find out who wins. It really keeps you, this book just hooks you on so much. That's one thing I really loved. I think you guys should definitely read this book. I highly recommend it. You will love it, especially if you like solving clues and that sort of stuff. You will definitely love reading this book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. If you have read this book, comment down below and tell me what you thought of it. Well, if you haven't, and I told you already, you need to get the book. Well, if you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. Bye everyone, and see you later on NPStation.